Throughout the past week, Russian forces struck targets in so-called Ukraine. In the Kyiv region, there were hits on Boryspil and Vasylkiv airports. The Ukrainian capital also came under fire, where the strikes were recorded in several districts of the city. Among the damaged objects are a streetcar depot, as well as the buildings of the National Bank and the Verkhovna Rada. For the first time in a long period, concentrated strikes also hit Odesa region. There, the airfield in Rozdil'na, as well as port infrastructure in Chornomorsk, Zatoka and Shabo were attacked. Meanwhile, the AFU continued to use UAVs to attack Russia's rear regions. Over a dozen drones were intercepted in the Rostov region, with no significant damage. In Smolensk region, AFU drones struck the Rosneft oil depot in Yartsov. 2 oil tanks were damaged, and a fire broke out at the facility. The enemy also attacked Sevastopol with both maritime and flying drones. Air defense and electronic warfare means neutralized Ukrainian drones on the approach to the city, and aircraft also destroyed unmanned boats. In Kursk region, Russian troops continue the operation to deoccupy Kursk region. In the Sudzha district, assault troops liberated Cherkasskaya Konopelka and advanced to Makhnovka. And to the north, Russian armed forces units have established control over the village of Agronom. The settlement is the last AFU stronghold east of Sudzha. At the same time, the AFU launched a missile attack on Elgov. An 8-apartment 2-story house and power lines were damaged. 1 person was injured. Toward the end of the week, the AFU attempted a counterattack in Bolshe-Soldatsky district of the region. The main fighting took place in the Berdin area northeast of Sudzha. Aviation was actively firing at the advancing enemy groups. On the Slobozhanska direction, fighting continues in the vicinity of Hliboke, as well as in the center of Vovchansk. At the same time, the AFU is shelling border settlements in the Belgorod region. In the Kupiansk-Svatovi direction, Russian units were able to advance on the southern flank. Assault troops cleared the pocket between Berestov and Lozova, knocking the enemy out of several strongholds. In the neighboring Lyman direction, Russian servicemen broke through the AFU defense in the south of Terny. At the moment, basements and ruins of houses in the settlement are being cleared of remnants of the AFU. In the Siversk direction, Russian units managed to gain a foothold in one of the forest belts south of Bilohorivka. And further south, assault groups occupied part of the enemy strongholds north of Ivano-Dar-Ivka. On the Artemovsk direction, Russian forces expanded their zone of control in the Severny micro-district in Chasiv Yar. Advancement was recorded in the area of the railroad towards workshop number 4 of the refractory plant. In the Oleksandro-Kalinove direction, Russian troops occupied most of the Toretsk built-up area. Russian units advanced in the central part of the city in the area of school number 5 and the waste heap of mine number. The Russian armed forces also significantly expanded the zone of control in the Pokrovsk direction. On the northern flank, assault troops forced the Kazenyi-Torets River and liberated Vozdvizhenka. To the southwest, Russian forces hold about 80% of Novovasylivka. They also managed to advance south of the settlement, taking positions in the forest belt. The situation was also developing dynamically in the Kurakov direction, located to the south. On the northern flank, Russian units gained a foothold on the eastern outskirts of Petropavlivka. And in Kurakov itself, Russian fighters occupied the territory of the Kurakivska TPP and several factories. On the southern flank, a large stronghold northeast of Kostiantynopolska was taken under control. As for the Vremivka direction, the situation there has not changed significantly. The main battles took place in the vicinity of Velika Novosilka and north of Blahodatne. On the Zaporizhzhia direction, the situation to the east of Orikhiv has somewhat intensified. There, Russian fighters liberated Luhivska and launched battles in the vicinity of Bilohirya. On the Kherson direction, the AFU continued shelling the left bank of the Dnipro River. One of the strikes hit the Central District Hospital in Oleshki. The head doctor was injured and his deputy was killed.